For those who are joining us, welcome. I'm Dr. Willie Jolley, and this is Dee Taylor-Jolley. It's on the book right here, Dee Taylor-Jolley. I am the author of the book, A Setback Set Up for a Comeback. But this is the book I wrote with my wife, the first book we wrote together. And it is called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. This is the show, if you just happen to stumble here, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. The broadcast, we've been doing it now for a couple of years, for 3 years, I believe, every Monday night. And we have been doing
You're such a character.
So let me give everybody what the deal is. Many of you know last week I had a mask on. We both had our mask because I had gone.
Was exposed to COVID.
I was exposed.
Because of his love of gumbo.
Gumbo, baby.
That's a short song.
Gumbo, gumbo, gumbo. And I went and got some gumbo with a friend, and the family was there, and I thought everybody was vaccinated and good, and I took off my mask and sat down and ate some gumbo and laughed and talked, and then I left. Next day, the lady who made it, her daughter called and said, "Mama came down with COVID today, sick, throwing up, sick. We tested her, she got COVID." Yay! I had to tell my wife, object lesson. I talked to my wife and told her the truth, didn't I? Said, stay back. I got off the phone. I said, stay back. So, no, the gumbo was not vegan, Terrence. It was not vegan. It was full on Louisiana gumbo, full on.
With legs and everything.
All right. So my wife said, well, this was your choice to go. She wouldn't go. She didn't go nowhere without, I'm not taking my mask off. That's what she says. So I had to go through the protocol, and I slept in a different room
and took your temperature every day and wore a mask.
I took my temperature every day, and I tested every day, and after 4 days,
you could come back to bed with me. Okay.
We want to, before we get started, we have been telling people that on the 22nd of March, we want to have Overcome Your Marriage Misery seminar, and Facebook is good. Okay. Overcome Your Marriage Seminar, Overcome Your Marriage Misery. You get the whole bundle, which is $149, and then 2 tickets, which are a $100 value for this marriage seminar. You go to jollymarriage.com and sign up, and it's $222 on the 22nd of March. Do it and get involved. We're gonna really have a deep dive. We're gonna have an evening with Willie and Dee Jolley, and we're gonna go deep dive. Tell everybody you know. It's a great deal. You get the whole bundle. That's $149 by itself, plus $100 for the 2 tickets, all for less than the regular price. Okay. All right. IG is back. Good. Okay. Now let's talk about what we want to talk about tonight. We kind of touched on last week, and that's this.
The topic for the week is gaslighting.
Gaslighting.
And why do we have that topic?
Because we've had some people who've called us and commented that they've been feeling like they've been getting gaslit.
But they didn't use that word, though.
They didn't use that word. But we had to go back and do some research because it really is an interesting concept. And Dee's going to give you the historical analysis with the word.
Why am I always the one with?
Because you do the research. Because you've been down. She's like a little research assistant. Every time we got something, that's her. Go ahead, sweetie pie.
So the topic tonight is gaslighting, right?
What is it?
And a quick definition of gaslighting is it's a form of manipulation. Number one, plain and simple. It's a form of manipulation that causes the person who is being manipulated to believe that there's something wrong with them. They've lost their sanity.
Well, why?
Judge.
Where did it come from? But that's before we.
You didn't ask me that. You asked
where
me
did
the definition of it.
Well, where did it come from? Where did it come from? Then we'll go into greater detail.
Okay, so the concept of gaslighting originated in like 1938 because there was a play called Gaslighting, where the husband wanted the wife to think she was crazy because he married her for her money and was trying to figure out where the diamonds were that her mother had left her. Okay. So the word gaslighting became popular as a form of manipulation because they had gas lamp lighting. And he would dim the lights. She would say, "Did you see the lights go down?" And he would say, "No." So he played with her mentality, making her think, her psyche, making her think something was wrong with her because he was adjusting the lights and making her think she was crazy. So it's manipulation. So it can be.
He wanted to get her committed or something.
Correct. So he would have access to her resources.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But gaslighting can be of a partner. It's normally associated with, in a relationship, a romantic relationship.
But it doesn't have to be.
But it does not have to be.
It's a form of manipulation.
It can be, yes, of family members and anybody, where the goal is to make that other individual think that how they are thinking is wrong.
Right.
And that they're losing their sanity.
Well, not always losing their sanity. Now, that's the part where I want to pull back.
Okay.
That's your petition. But gaslighting also can be when one of the partners in the relationship is always reflecting everything back to that person, the other person. Well, you know, that the reason that I did that, I ran around on you because it was your fault. It's always focused back to gaslighting is a form of manipulation where you turn it on the other person. And we see that often in relationships where somebody does something wrong and the person who does something wrong tries to make the other person guilty and feel bad. And often they're successful at it. And the other person is the one who takes all the brunt of the responsibility. So it's like someone said, poking the bear. You're poking the bear, and sometimes you're poking to get a negative response. So you say, "See, I told you. I told you. That's how you always act," knowing that there's certain reactions that are going to happen if you hit these buttons. And so gaslighting is a really bad. Terrence said the game people play. That's right. It's a bad game that people play in their relationship, and it's terrible. But what we want to do,
what it is, it's called a form of emotional abuse.
Emotional
and it can
and mental.
Emotional, mental. The emotional abuse, of course, I have from psychologists. What's the man's name? Jeremy Berman, who's a Chicago-based psychotherapist specializing in individual, family, and couples counseling. Says the tactic, his main definition is that it's the tactic that one uses in an effort to exert pressure or undue pressure over another person to gain control.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Do that. Just so everybody can see what I see. Go ahead, do you. Show your guns. Go ahead. Woo! I love when she show her guns. Girl, she got some serious guns.
You're being a distraction.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. He adds, gaslighting is a malicious form of emotional abuse. That's why I said that. That's what the psychotherapist said. Okay. It's a malicious form of emotional abuse because it causes you to question your own experience. You start to doubt yourself. Am I making this up? Am I, going off the deep end? Am I losing my mind?
Yeah.
Which is what I said earlier.
Amen. Okay? Bradley and Terry are in the house. Hello,
hey.
Bradley Thomas. For those who don't know, we want you to know that he's running and we support him. He's running for DC City Council at large. And if you're in the DC area, we want you to go and
get a sign.
Get a sign, put it in your yard, and support him. He's running for, and we know him as a great father, husband, social activist, lawyer, and friend. And so Bradley Thomas for DC City Council at large. The vote is coming up in June, and you can go and support him. He only needs $100, and he gets a match by 6 to 1 or 5 to 1. Oh wow! Really? So $100. Go and make a commitment. Wow. You don't have to live in DC to make a donation.
Oh, you don't have to live in DC to make a donation?
No, but to get the matching fund, but you can make a donation. Just look him up, Bradley Thomas for DC. All right. So
the summary. Let's go back because we both talked about
gaslighting.
Summary. Okay. So for gaslighting, it makes you doubt your sanity. What this other person is doing to you emotionally makes you doubt your sanity. It confuses you.
Yeah.
And makes you question your own judgment.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It undermines your perception of yourself or your reality, and in many instances, it can destroy your self-esteem.
Oh, very much so, because it makes you wonder if you hear the lie enough, you start to believe it. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you hear the lie enough, you start to believe it.
All right. So gaslighting term came from the play. Yeah. First in 38, and then one of my favorite directors, Alfred Hitchcock, turned it into the movie Gaslighting. Right?
Okay.
All right. So we ready to go? Signs of gaslighting?
Yeah, let's go with the signs of gaslighting. Let me say one more thing about gaslighting. Okay. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation, often occurs in abusive relationships. It is a covert type of emotional abuse where.
So what does covert mean? It's actually looked it up.
It's passive aggressive. Okay, you're not hollering and screaming at somebody.
Covert is not hitting.
Right.
So it's not the hitting, but it's the subtle where you really can't see it.
And it makes you doubt your reality. Okay. It can be, the fault is always on the other person. The breakup is because of you. You did it, even though this person might have had an affair, but you made me do it. Always flipping it. That's gaslighting. You gaslighting them. You gaslighting them. And when you know you're being gaslit, you got to be able to say, oh!
But I think most people don't know that.
They don't know that. That's right. Because you know what?
Because we don't really call it gaslighting, but there's something wrong where you're always in a position where, but I didn't. What are you talking about?
Right. There are some con men. We talk about con men, which is a confidence person. Con man, con woman is a confidence. They call them con man, con woman, and they are so good at
convincing you
that something wrong with
what you see is not so.
It isn't.
Or what you experience is not
the
so.
Sky is not blue. Okay, no. So whatever it is, they're con people. So how do we help people to overcome this guy? You got to know what it is.
At least be aware of it. Right. Whether it's a family member, whether it's a spouse, or a person you're in a romantic relationship with. So some signs of gaslighting. Number one, you doubt your feelings and reality. You try to convince yourself that the treatment you're receiving, you deserve. How about that?
Oh, that's somebody who's being gaslit when they're getting treated bad and they believe that they deserve it. Oh.
Or because your significant other, whatever, they might say, you know what, you're too sensitive.
Right.
You know, you're just sensitive about everything. Okay, number two, you question your judgment and perspectives. You are afraid of speaking up or expressing your emotions. You've learned that sharing your opinion usually means you feel worse at the end because the other person has made you feel bad about this is how I'm feeling. Okay,
let me give you some examples of people that these are common phrases in being you're being gaslit. This is gaslighting. You're so insecure. You know what? It's on you. The reason that we're in this argument because of your insecurity. You're insecure. Here's another one. You're way too emotional. The reason why we always have the argument because you're emotional. All right, here's another. You just making this stuff up. All of this is just made up. Never happened. No, never happened. You're exaggerating the situation. Can't take a joke. No, yeah. I was just a joke.
I was just kidding. I hate it when people say that.
My wife can't stand that. When people give you jabs and jibs, or what we call shade, they throwing shade. Oh, it's just a joke. You know what? Like the guy who tells the joke. This is my future ex-wife. That ain't funny. Don't tell jokes like that. You're speaking into life what you want. Your words have power. You got to speak good into your life, speak good in your relationship, speak good in your family, speak good into your finances. Your words have power. You say you're sick, you're going to be sick. You say you're poor, you're going to be poor. You say your kids are bad, they're going to be terrible.
Yeah, I got one.
All right.
You feel vulnerable and insecure, and you walk on eggshells around your partner for fear that you're going to say something that will set them off.
That's right. Problem's not me. No, the problem's you. Okay, you're the problem. You're always the problem. You know you got a problem. You know you have a problem. You got a problem. So you might as well understand it. Okay. So you must understand that you got to speak good into your life. Terry said, speak it into existence. Speak good into your life. Speak good into your health. Speak good into your finances. Speak it into being. And that's why you can't have all of this negative talk. And when people gaslight you, they're throwing negative, they're throwing shade, as they say.
Okay. Another one is you feel confused. Now, why do you feel confused? Because the behavior of the gaslighter, your friend, your partner, your spouse, confuses you, because sometimes they're kind and thoughtful, and sometimes they're not. They're like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and you don't know who you're going to get, which goes back to maybe I need to walk on eggshells because I don't know who I'm going to get. Then they make it feel like it's your fault.
Oh, one more gaslighting. They find something about you that you're sensitive about. Okay. You know you need to lose some weight. Every time you eat, they're picking at you. You know you need to lose some weight. You got this or you got that. They talk about something that you know you're sensitive about and something that you're having insecurity about, and then they really go in on that. You're just insecure, but they have poked the bear. They poked the bear. They poked the bear, made you feel bad. There you go.
You spend a lot of time apologizing to your mate. You feel you need to apologize for not being good enough.
Here's one. You know it's your fault that I cheated.
That's a stretch.
But that came from somebody said this is a common gaslighting line. You know it's your fault that I cheated. Oh, what? They use it. And they flip it around. They flip it around so that even something as bad as cheating, they try and make it on the person.
So then that goes along with they make you feel insecure. It's your fault. You're not good enough.
Woo! If you're lucky, I'll forgive you. That's another one. If you're lucky.
Oh, wow.
This is terrible. And they wonder why this is married. That's what Bradley said. Bradley said, there's a term for what you're talking about. It's called projection. That's right. A person projects his or her flaws on his or her opponent or counterpart. Right. That's a great line, projection. But they're doing it manipulatively.
Intentionally.
They know it sets the person back. Like a couple we counseled years ago. We didn't counsel, we had dinner with them. And we knew
talked several times to them.
Talked to them several times. And the wife said when they're in disagreement, he would always go to, I'm gonna leave you.
Yes.
I'm going to leave you. And because she had
fall apart.
Because she had separation anxiety because her father left the house.
Right.
And she said, I just fall apart. He gets me every time. Every argument he wins because he goes there. And so he promised he would never go there again.
And he never kept his word.
He didn't keep his word. Woo! Terrence said, don't you know gas is $4.99 gal?
We watched the gas prices change
yesterday.
Because we were in
Hampton,
DC to Hampton, Virginia, Hampton back to DC.
And we went to a gas station on the way down. And by the time we came back to that same gas station, it had gone up, was it 11 cents? And that was within about a couple of hours.
And it was the same Wawa.
Yeah, it was the same gas station. Now I didn't pay it.
Okay, go ahead, but
my little electric car says.
But we had to go to the station
to
plug the car in.
The plug up was at the Wawa, and they got Wawa. If you go down south, the charging stations at a lot of the Wawas. So anyway, all right.
Okay. So if you want to give them another one,
I'll give you one more. Here's another one.
Okay, I got one before you, since you're not.
Here's one that sometimes we are talking about ones that we hear males do, but this one is one you sometimes you're supposed to love me unconditionally. So you're not loving me unconditionally, even though I spent the mortgage money, even though I went out of the budget. You're supposed to love me unconditionally.
So that's an excuse for you're not keeping your word.
You didn't do what you said. You're supposed to love me unconditionally. And you know what? This is not just for husband and wives. This happens often with with parents and children. You're supposed to help me unconditionally and love me unconditionally. Well, I do, but I'm not going to.
You're not stupid.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna empower you or enable you to keep doing the kind of behavior that you're doing. Not gonna do it.
Doesn't mean you don't love them.
No.
Mm-hmm. You struggle to make decisions because you now don't trust yourself.
Ooh, that's what real gaslighting is, where you have been so conditioned over so long that the lady in the movie, she starts to question her mentality, her rationality, her sanity, because this guy has done it, did that. Terrence said IG is going in and out tonight. I don't know, Terrence. I'm sorry, anybody on IG, but we good on Facebook, and we you can always get the whole thing on YouTube. All right, we got only about 6 more minutes.
Okay, if you identify any of these signs, what are you supposed to do?
Hell, that's the thing. Go back to difficult conversation. Had a conversation with a guy today. I said you have to have the difficult conversations. Those are uncomfortable conversations. And every relationship.
Was that with a spouse? I don't.
This is the woman. He said, I do not want to lose this woman, but I have had a history of messing up the relationship because I don't communicate well.
Oh, so now he knows it. So he can work on learning how to communicate.
Well, I gave him the 4 steps. Here we go, folks.
Okay.
We'll say them over and over again. They're in the book. If you don't have the book, go get it. But we'll give you this chapter free. The communication chapter, the biggest chapter in the book, the communications chapter, free. And we say if you should use this chapter over and over.
It's chapter 3. Did you say 4. That? Oh, it's chapter 4?
Yeah. Yeah, chapter 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, chapter 4. Chapter 4, let's see, make sure. Yep, communicate, talk to each other.
Thank you, dear.
All right. Mm-hmm. Chapter 3, just so you know, is decide to make it last. Love is an emotion. Marriage is a decision. Okay. Emotions change. I told her when we got married that this is it.
Okay. It's
all right. So let's go back to
your 4 questions.
4 questions. Be friendly. When you have these difficult conversations, you're gaslighting me. Be friendly.
They might not even use that.
But you're manipulating me. Be friendly, but be frank. And this is how that makes me feel. That you made me feel. Here's how you made me feel. Be fair. Now, why do you do it? Listen to their reasoning. So you get some.
Well, they might say, "I'm not doing that." Then what do?
You can't take away my feelings. You cannot take away their feelings. Nobody can ever question your feelings. Be friendly. Be frank about your feelings. Be fair. Listen to them. And then be focused on a win-win. Be friendly, be frank, be fair, be focused on a win-win. You do that, you can have more effective communication. This is all about communication. You can't make anybody do anything, but you can communicate that this is not something.
But if you think it crosses the line and you feel uncomfortable, or you might know somebody who's in an emotionally abusive relationship, perhaps they need to also know about the domestic violence hotline.
Well, some of this is ongoing parts of people's relationship. They're not being physically abusive, but
emotional abuse can be as bad as
it can
abuse.
Be. Bricks and bones will break my bones, but worse than where can hurt. Yeah. So go get some marriage counseling, and if you need to get some
marriage counseling, and be aware of if it's emotional abuse, it still falls under the category.
Let me read this one
of the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 800-799-7233 for somebody who could benefit from that. I'm just sharing that.
Okay. Here's what it says: if you feel like you're being gaslit, you must share this with your mate, because it can lead to depression if you don't. Number 2, if it gets worse, please take care of the situation by making sure you get some help to a professional, which is what you call it. They might be able to help you on the abusive line, or you get a counselor who specializes in understanding these kinds of conversations.
So maybe the first thing is to get counseling, to talk it out with a professional. Is it my imagination? This is what's going on.
That's right. And then
you have to reach out for help.
And get some help. But a lot of this can be done through conversation and communication, and then setting some guidelines. That's not going to work.
I think you're optimistic, because I think some people do it intentionally because they want
You need to do it. You absolutely need to do it.
And they don't want to.
But we've seen something turn around recently.
That is true.
We have seen by
That
having a conversation with them.
Constant.
And just having a conversation with them and saying, here's what the standard will be. And you got to keep your word. I think that's it. Keeping your word.
Keeping your word.
Keeping your word.
Which helps to build trust in your relationship.
Keep your word.
Which is everything. Okay.
All right. Dose of D.
Okay. This is March and it's Women's History Month. And the 8th, which is tomorrow, is International Women's Day.
Yay!
Right?
All the women. That's fantastic.
And from the suffragettes on, and we're still not equal. That's what I want to impress upon us. And let me say this, because I go to the money. Women live on an average of 5 to 7 years longer than their men mates, right? But they spend on an average of 5 to 7 years out of the job market because they're having the babies, right?
Yeah.
And take care of the little ones. Now, so the husbands die earlier. The women don't have as long in the workforce, which means they tend to have less money.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's something that we need to be aware of so we can fix it. How do you fix it? For those who are still did you fund your 401k to the max? Did you put your money in your Roth to the max, right? And who's your tax consultant that could educate you about that? And then for those who have at least that $500,000 that people are banging on your door because they want as a financial advisor to give you wise counsel, here's a piece of advice that I learned. Say, oh, really? You're interested in helping me? Let me see 3 years of your individual tax returns and let me see your current month's retirement statement and your investment account.
And folks, let me tell you something. She ain't just talking about that. This is exactly what she said when they called. They call all the time now. And she said, oh, you want to get access to what we have worked hard to
and still working hard.
And still working? Oh, you got to show me your tax return. You got to show me your tax return. She just told them. People call me all the time. They say, we see
it's just about the relationship.
And I said, you got to talk to her.
It's not that they care.
Yeah, well,
it's just about the relationship.
I always reflect them to her. I say, oh, talk to her. They come in all big and bad. They go,
now it's just being phone. But, I'm learning a lot.
You have done well. I trust you.
Painful process of my learning, however. So there you go.
Well, I'm going to get ready to leave you with my little duck. Hope y'all had a good show. That's right. Bradley says, Jerry, show me the money. That's right. Show me the money. We'll say, show me the money. Quack, 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 quack. My little duck carrot. All right. I'm going to keep him.
Pray for him.
Oh, help me somebody. Look, remember, March 22nd, go to jollymarriage.com. Sign up for our marriage misery Overcoming Marriage Misery, terrific twosome tutorial. That's what it's called. Terrific.
Is that a mouthful?
Woo! It's $222 on March 22nd, and you get the whole bundle: 2 books, 2 workbooks, an audio book, and a CD set, and you get 2 tickets. 2 tickets to the marriage seminar. On Zoom. It's all Zoom. She ain't going nowhere. Well, she got to take off her mask. Okay, we know that. We got that. We got it. And so, and I went to the Blackbirds the other night. They were getting down, but everybody had their mask on off except the brother, because I had just got out of protocol. I wasn't going back to protocol, so I like sleeping in the bed with her. All right. All right, folks. Thank you, Terrence.
Thank you. We love
you. Thank you, Brad and Terry. Thank you for everybody. Thank you so much, Greg and Linda Kazera and Sherry Elliott and Willie Larkin. Tell your friends to tune in every Monday night, 9 o'clock. And we'll be here for you to make sure you can make love, make more money, and make it last. All right? This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
And this is Dee Taylor-Jolley.
We're about to go out. Hold on, let me get my music. I got to get my music so that we can go out with our music. Here we go. God bless y'all.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.